Hello and a warm welcome back to the Wendercast. We've got a very exciting and exclusive conversation to bring to you today. You will have seen the announcement just now, hopefully, about the MFL released regarding trial clubs. And you're probably thinking, I've not read the blog post. I just want to, consume some other media about it, learn a bit more about it, and maybe get a bit more knowledge about MFL and some topics that we can put forward to this person. So joining me on today's episode is none other than MFL co-founder and CEO himself, Mr. Mathurin. Welcome back. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, doing great. Thanks for having me, Jimbo. Super excited for this another episode, and let's deep dive into it.
Awesome. So we're gonna go over some of the announcement from this trial clubs, and Matt has said that he will allow me to ask him some other questions regarding other things at MFL. So maybe we'll ask him some juicy questions about other topics, pack drops, etc. So I know the community will like if I ask a few questions regarding that. So this new announcement, Matt, about trial clubs basically allowing new MFL users to play free for a season, or like no financial commitment, like a trial period. You know, when you sign up to any subscription, you get a 7-day free trial or something like that. So one season free trial. But before we sort of dive into some of the details about it and you explain it a bit more, I want to go to the beginning, to the start. It's always a great place to kick off from. Where did this idea come from? Where was the need for it? Take us right back to that starting point.
Yeah, so it's an idea that we had for a long time in our mind. We know that in the gaming industry, it's like pretty common to be able to play for free or to try things, and even on internet now, it's very, very common that when you have a product, you have a way to try it. So that's really something that we had in the back of our mind for months, probably even years. Like even when we started, we knew that we needed to have something like that. Over the last 3 years, we were really focused on building the product, building a game, something that is exciting, that people like, that people enjoy to play, that has a strong retention. People stay on the game, they want to keep playing, etc. Mm-hmm. And I think like we've seen over the last few months with the launch of the real season 1, with all these new features with promotion, relegation, player progression, player aging, etc. We've seen a very strong retention. Like we got super good feedback from the users. People seems to really enjoy the game. They love the game, etc. So we got super good feedback on that, and our aim is always to increase the number of new users coming, like scaling the game, getting new users in, and so we thought it was the good time to do this, to launch this initiative, and to allow people to play without this financial commitment that can a bit be
a bit of a barrier to entry for some people. Yeah,
exactly. That's a strong barrier to entry, and so that's really like that removes a bit this friction, and so that's why we decided to do that, and we think we are thinking it's a good moment to do it now that we have the game that is we've done like 8 seasons of it's not testing anymore, but we have like very good vision of how the game is now, and so like with all the feedback from the user that we got, we thought that it was a very good moment to do it.
Yeah, I think people who are already within the Web3 space are probably more likely to drop some money on a new game and then play it, and then if it's not for them, they either continue or they sell up and they sort of go away, whatever. But for those sort of Web 2, we'll call it, the regular people, can't believe I said that, but they want to sort of try before you buy sort of thing, and I think this will allow them to get a feel for MFL, and obviously because the seasons are 6 weeks long, For some people, they love the length of the season. Some people, they're not quite sure about the length. They think it's too long. But I think it's a nice long period for them to really try out the game, understand MFL, and then push that button and commit to playing if they so wish to. So I think it's a really positive move. I'm very much looking forward to sort of what it brings for MFL. And I can see you're obviously very excited about it.
Yeah. And just to come back on that, like I think it's what you are saying is that exactly. I think for a Web3 audience, that can be it's much more like it's much easier to spend $80 on a club and see if they like it, etc. And on our side, we've always been wanted to focus on the more Web2 audience or more mainstream audience, and that's where that's I think that's more at the spot where we are at now. Like we have I think we can still expand on the Web3 audience. We have like a lot of people that still don't know about us, but we really want to try to reach and to scale the product with a more Web2 audience, and that's at the point that we are at the moment, and so that's why we want to do. And actually, we did a very interesting experiment with a French influencer, like content creators that is doing content on FIFA. And so, and for the first time, we really tried to do like some paid ads with this content creator. So basically, he's doing his video and he has a 60-second 60-second long ad during his content at the beginning of his content.
Yep.
And so we saw that really we saw a lot of people joining, like creating an account from this ad, and so that was super positive. With the two first video, we had more than 1,000 signups, which is
Wow.
pretty
That's
strong.
a lot.
That's a lot, especially when you see the number of users that we have at the moment, etc. That's really massive. So that was a good learning. People are interested by the game, but when we saw the conversion to a paying user, like buying a club, etc., the conversion was super low. And so we start to investigate a bit. We chatted with the influencer. We tried to reach out to some users, etc. And really, what we saw was that this friction that you cannot try the product is a big barrier and the big friction. And so there was a lot that were saying, okay, I don't want to commit to $80 to a game that I don't know. When I spend $80, or it's more for EAFC or Football Manager that are like franchise that are existing since 20 years or even more. And so there is this trust. And on our side, we don't have like we still have to convince the users that we are a good game. And so we think that the best way to convince the user that we are a good game is, okay, come, try it, play, and we think that you will enjoy it, and you will want to continue, and then that they will enter the real MFL universe by buying a club.
Yeah, to hear you say about that little experiment or bit of market research you've done there with that FIFA or AFC YouTuber, to use it by its correct name now, saying nearly 1,000 or so signups, from a couple of videos, even the first one I think you said there. To give some context around numbers, taking from MFL Assistant, Alexa's great website, if all 1,000 of them picked up a club, that would be like a 33% increase in the amount of people with the club. There's currently just over 3,100, and then if they all got a player, we currently have 5,700 users with a player. That's an extra 17% or so. So we're talking just off one piece of content that 1,000 people signed up. I think that shows the potential, and that there's potentially 1,000 people, there who, if they had this trial club, would, I'm assuming there'd probably be a very high percentage of people who would commit to this trial club if it was a thing. So maybe we'll dive into a little bit of the details about what actually is a trial club. What does it mean for a new user? What does it entitle them to when they join MFL?
But actually, it's very simple because it's pretty similar to a Flint club. So like it will be a club in the lowest division, in the bottom division, and basically it gives you the ability to create your club for free, and so you can test the game. Of course, there are some restrictions. So the first thing is that the club is not on chain, so you don't own it, so you cannot sell it, you cannot trade it, etc.
Yeah.
So that was our first concern when we decided we want to give a free experience. We didn't want it to have any impact on the market, on the that it increase the number of clubs, so that it can change the valuation. So really, it's kind of another pool of clubs that is not on chain, that will not interfere with the
Good move.
with the number of clubs. So that's and then it gives you basically the same possibility. You can sign contracts, you can register for the normal competition, etc. So you can really test the game. You can still buy your player, buy some packs to fill them in your team. And then you have some restriction. The first restriction is regarding the revenue share. So you can only send 30% of revenue share. And the other thing also is that at the end of the season, your rewards are locked. They are locked in your club.
Okay.
And you can unlock them if you decide to purchase the club. And we think it's pretty good because first it allows people to try the game. If they don't like it, it won't create an additional supply because we send more MFL points. So that doesn't have any impact in terms of new supply that it creates, new supply of players that it creates.
Yeah.
And then it gives another incentive for the user to purchase the club. They like it, and they also they spend 6 weeks fighting for this reward at the end of the season, and so that can give another little incentive to purchase the club. The main incentive being that they enjoy the game and they want to continue playing and that they love it, basically.
Yeah, you speaking about the contracts revenue there, to take a quote from the Medium post, which I highly recommend people go read, because there's some great piece of information on there. And often people ask questions in Discord, and if maybe a bit arrogant saying if you just read for 5 minutes you'd find the answer, but or they just want me to circle it in red. But you've got there enough to build, not enough to abuse, which I think is probably a nice sentence to say. You've got enough revenue, revenue share capped at 30%, 3% max per contract, including match clauses. So, and then 3 contracts max with the same agent, so they can't go signing all their revenue share to their best mate so they can get the rewards and try and loophole the system, basically, because when something is given to them for free, people will no doubt try and find a way that they can loophole it. And people might be able to do that anyway with they can have 3 mates and they can give them 9%. Yeah. But that's the reason the cap's there, so they can't do that for all of their 10 mates. They can do that for 3 friends, for example.
Yeah, exactly. That's why exactly why we implemented this restriction, like the 30% max, 30% max revenue share, and the number of 3% max, and then with also 3 agents, like this 3 contracts per agent. So it's as you said, exactly, it avoids that you want to as a user you have some unused player, and then you create either you create multi-accounting, which I always don't recommend to do that, because like Dapper is like super strict.
Oh, yeah.
And they can close accounts very, very fast, so don't do that. Or they can also have a mate that just don't want to play but create an account for him and then send it for free. So at least it really limits and makes it harder. And so yeah, we think it's a good way. We still need to have some flexibility, because they would need to be able to sign contracts with other agents. At first, when we really think about the first version, we were thinking, okay, you cannot sign any contract with any other agent, or only contract with 0%. And so when we're starting to think about it and to brainstorm about it, we were thinking it's too restrictive, and that would be maybe a bit hard for new users that want to build a full squad. So that's why we increased a bit the restriction, and we think it's yeah, it's a good option for new users.
Yeah, you want to allow people to have a little bit of freedom and flexibility to enjoy the game with bringing in loan players, because the loaning part of MFL is one of its best features, that you don't have to, you just have to own the club and nothing else, and you can bring those people in, and for them to be able to experience what it's like to negotiate with other managers, not just everything on 0% or not having a massive cap. I would assume that most managers, if they loan in people, taking myself for example, I probably taken about 40% revenue share a season. So, and that's probably like a figure that many other managers probably like. So they get used to that sort of thing. So regarding ownership, there's only one really clear rule in here, that you just have to have never have owned a club before. And a user can only have a maximum of one trial club per manager, correct?
Yeah, exactly. That's really a feature that we designed for only new users. We wanted it to be for people that have never tried this experience, and so to be a way like for to get in the game. So it's really for accounts or users that have never bought a club before. It can be a club pack or a club on the marketplace, and you can only have one per user. Yeah.
Yeah. And so clubs are off chain. The locations they get are random, just like when you buy like a club pack at the moment. Will they have a little bit of an experience with a spinning globe to decide where their location is? Or is it sort of like, boom, 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 you're in Brazil?
No, it will be actually we will reuse the pack opening experience. So here it won't be a pack; it will be it's a you will have a tile in your account like when you have your starter pack or your club pack, where you will have a new tile here where you will be able to click create your club. So you will have the first step that will be discover your location. Here we will reuse the animation that where you open your club. The the cities, the country, that will be random as when you buy a normal club, and then yes, you have this experience. And we've also used this process to really revamp this club creation process, because we saw that people like probably like for the normal club, so people have spent $80, they are probably much more engaged, and so like naming their club, creating a logo, etc., will be something that they will probably take more seriously and be able to spend more time on.
Yeah.
Because now they are new, I think the idea is to give them like the smooth experience in the creation. So we've tested, like we've revamped this club creation process with the naming, with the logo, and so now we are using the AI inside our inside MFL, where
Oh,
you are
wow.
able to first you have name suggestions, like so you have a few name suggestions that you can pick. So if you don't have any ideas, of course you can choose the name as you can choose your custom
Yeah.
name, etc. But if you don't have ideas, you can get some suggestions, which is pretty cool. It helps you with you get also color suggestions that are matching the name suggestions. So that's we spent a lot of time on that, and Luca worked a lot on that, and I've done a very, very nice process, I think. So that's the first thing, and then you have like you go to the logo generation, and here you have some suggestion of concept. So maybe they are going to say, I don't know, if if your club is located in Paris, maybe they will say, oh, you want a DFL tower, or maybe you want something related to love, because Paris is the city of love. So I
City of
don't know,
Love.
like
Yeah.
or a baguette or something like that,
A croissant,
a croissant, this kind of stuff. And so you will have some concept that will that will pop in on your screen. You choose the concept that you want, and that will generate you also can choose the type of logo that you would like. You have some models, and then you click, and that will generate you a logo. So that won't be an experience where you can create really your custom logo, but at least it gives you a lot of speed, and in the end it creates a very nice logo generated by AI. If the user wants to really custom his own logo, he can do it when he purchased the club and when he has the real club. But it really gives the ability to create very nice logo without background.
I was about to say the most important fact
Yeah,
here is that there's going to be no backgrounds, which I think
yeah.
is an unbelievable move. Thank you very much for this.
And we choose a model that's a specific model that doesn't have background, etc.
Is this model part of the 400 node AI model
No.
thing? So is this so this is a separate one? Does it still have many nodes? Do you know how many nodes? Does it even have nodes? I think people want to know how many nodes are in this.
No, it's much simpler here. For the player generation, we had to build like our own custom system with our own nodes, etc. Here we are using directly some sub provider API that allows us to create that. So because we also what we really wanted to do this, like to have this trial club to go live very soon, and so we didn't want to spend months building it, and that's so that was what was good with this concept is that first there was not a lot of development needed because it was directly giving the same experience, the same concept, etc. And so we wanted to build something pretty easy to use, and so that we also use this third-party provider instead of building our own tech, etc. In this case, it was not needed.
And so we'll see lots of organic angles in some of these logos as well. Do you
think?
a
lot of organic angles, this kind of stuff.
No, I look forward to seeing some of those logos. Without backgrounds, I think is one of the best features. That's one I'm most actually excited about with this. So the streets of MFL's clubs will be safe for the time being from backgrounds. Let's then quickly jump to say the end of a new user's experience with the free trial. So they've done the 6 weeks, and let's just say hypothetically they finish, let's say middle of the table. We can do different scenarios and what that means for the free trial club. But you said that for the period that they have it, the rewards that they get are locked. Yes. They become unlocked on the moment they purchase a club pack, correct?
Yeah, so basically it will be a bit different. It will be integrated to your club. So in your club you will have we still need to finalize the interface, but the idea is to have like inside your club somewhere a big button, something visible where you say like upgrade my club, so you can convert it to a premium club or like to a normal club, I would say. And so it will be just a button. It will be similar to buying a pack, and then you will be able to get it, and so that will just convert it to a normal club. So and then that will be the choice of the user. First he can decide to keep going with his club, and so like upgrade his club, and so that will make the smooth transition, and he will keep, for example, if he's promoted, maybe that is more likely to do that because he wants to be promoted, etc. If he really enjoys his club, also having the ownerships, he wants to continue, he can do that. The other option is also that he decide to buy a pack. So in this case, that would be the same price, or he can also decide to, okay, now I've done the experience, I'm not like especially attached to this club, but I want to keep playing the game, and there is this club on the marketplace that is cheaper, so I'm going to buy it because I want to keep playing the game, and I'm not especially attached to this club, and so that's also a possibility. Yeah.
So if they were to buy a club off the marketplace, do the rewards get unlocked, or are they still locked with the club they had for the free trial?
No, they're still locked for the club, the free trial. And so then that can also maybe we will see also some user that will buy a club on the marketplace, keep playing for another season, and then we see that a lot of players that join MFL, they start with one club and then they want to increase and have 2-3 clubs. Some have even more.
Trust.
And so at some point, if they want to buy a new club, maybe they will decide to to upgrade their club, and so they will get these rewards that are locked. It's of course minimal rewards. It's not a huge rewards because it's rewards in the fleet division, but that's still something interesting. And of course that's also something that we are planning, and so to push the experience and to encourage people to buy their club, we can do some promos as we've done, like with the normal pack promos. That could be like, okay, upgrade your club and get a free pack. Or we have some ideas that it's not something defined, but we could say also like upgrade your clubs and you get your rewards boosted or something like that. So
Yeah.
that's some ideas that we have also to, of course, encourage conversion. And when you're doing a promotion, you're much more likely that people stay on the game, keep playing, etc. And so that can engage people a bit more.
So even if they don't upgrade, within the agency, the club will still be there but unusable. So say if I was a new user, did the free trial, came first, got a lot of rewards, just say I didn't want to upgrade, I wanted to go secondary marketplace for a club, and then 2 seasons later, I wanted to go, will I still have the option to upgrade it then to get those rewards? Is that a possibility, or is there like a cooldown or a countdown as to when my upgrade window is ended?
For the moment, we don't have a definitive answer for that because for the moment we don't plan to have like an expiration date, but that could be at some point because we think maybe it's not super good to have like all these clubs that are idle or something like that, even if they are like not inside the real supply. So that's but for the moment we don't think about putting an expiration date. Maybe we will do it at some point because it will be also easier for us, like a way to clean this idle club that are in our database or something like that. And so we can also put that's also a way to try to do a last try to convert the users to buy this club. Like say your club is going to expire, last chance to upgrade it. And if the user does it, perfect. If he does not, then the club disappears. So that's not some, like, our focus has been really on the mechanism, and then for this kind of question, it's a bit more longer term. So there was not an immediate need for that.
I've got a scenario here which I've been thinking about, which is probably one that you may have considered, you may have not considered. So obviously, if a club gets if a free trial club ends first in their Flint division, if they upgrade, that then gets promoted.
Yes.
What happens if they don't upgrade? Who becomes the automatic promotion spot? Does it fall to number 2, number 3? Does it cascade down? Is that something you've thought about, or have I now just opened a can of worms in your head?
That's a good question.
I appreciate you may not know the answer, but it will likely happen. Like, that's something that probably might happen. So
no, actually, what we're going to do in this scenario is that the club is going to be promoted. So basically, he will be promoted, but he cannot play. So in the end, he will be promoted. It's just that he won't be able to register to the season.
yeah.
And so if he doesn't upgrade and doesn't register to the season, at the end he will be downgraded. So it will, he will just do a back and forth, and so there won't be another promotion for someone else.
It's a good answer actually, because it's no different to me being promoted, not registering, and then I just come back down again. It affects no one, but no one would know that I'm not going to register. So that's just the natural way things would have happened anyway, regardless if it was a free trial club or if it wasn't a free trial club. So this will be, as of today, the 30th of September is when it's being announced. Was this when it goes live as well? So now we have the announcement, or is it like for season 9, the free trials will come into?
No, it will. It's at the moment is the feature will be like we are doing the announcement to explain everyone. The aim is to answer the questions, like explain the concept, etc. And the club will start, like the free trial club will be available right after rollover day, so
Perfect.
on Tuesday. And so yeah, that's when the people will be able to claim their free trial for the first time.
Yeah, and the free trial is for a whole season as well. So if a manager was to join 2 weeks before the end of season 9, their free trial would initiate for the duration of season 10. Correct?
Yes, exactly. What we see here is more like the free trial is for the a full season where you registered. So let's
Yeah.
imagine you for some reason you arrive on the game, you create your club, you don't register, and then it's not counted as a season, and so you arrive on season 9, you create your club, you don't register, and then you do the same for season 10, and then season 11 you arrive, and then you can still register at this time. Of course, your club will be demoted, like if there is
Relegated. We don't use
relegated.
the word demoted. I think it's a horrible word. Relegated.
Is it?
Sorry.
Is it? I
It's
don't
a
know.
it's in our Twitch chat. It's a moderated word. We say relegated.
Okay,
So
sorry for
no,
that. My bad.
apology accepted. It's apology
Relegated.
accepted.
It's my bad English.
No, it's not bad. Just a cultural thing.
Okay. So relegated, but in this case, because they are in Flint, there's no division below. But if there were to be a new division at some point, then the club would be relegated, and then the user would be able, when he arrive on season 11, to start register and play and do his free trial for the season.
Mm. So then, a question that I've got, and I imagine other people in the community might have, is that do you guys envision this as sort of the equivalent of like a free to play sort of thing for MFL? Because it's like free to trial, like, or
Yeah.
trial to play. So it's not quite free to play, but it's free to play for 6 weeks, and then
Yes.
decide if you want. Did you guys kind of envision it as like halfway to that, or in replacement of a free to play thing? If you ever went down that revenue avenue, sorry.
No, so we don't see it as a free to play because it's a different way. I think usually when you have a free to play, it's more like you have a version that like is either a simpler version or like a version that is a bit different, where you well, for example, how I would imagine a free to play, a real free to play experience in MFL is like you play in a different. You arrive, you can create your club, you have like some free players, you don't, there are no NFTs or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, kind of almost thinking out loud here, but and then you have like specific competitions that are like with very very low rewards that you can play, you can enjoy. And so if you really want to grind, in the end you can grind, but it will take a lot of time, and
Yeah.
then there will allow users to try the game and to keep playing. So that's more how I would see a real free to play, that you can almost play on the like as much time as you want. So here it's not a free to play, and I think to create a free to play, that's maybe something that we're going to do in the future. It's just that I think for a real free to play to really be working, that you really need to think about it, to you almost build a new game. Like, I'm not saying that it should be like 100% a new game, but it's another experience that you need to build. We've seen it for a lot of free to play. For example, So Rare, they've built their free to play mode that was a bit another game. They had to change it. I think they did probably 2 or 3 different free to play mode before finding something that probably worked for them. So that's really another topic, and really something different. Here, what we like is that maybe it's not like 100% optimal. I really think that's a very good concept. Maybe there are some flaws here and there, but I really think it's a strong concept that we can try very, very in a very, very fast way. We don't have to develop a lot of stuff. We don't have to think about new mechanics, etc. We can already plug it on our existing system, and the idea is really to see like what are the results of this. Do we see more users joining, which I'm almost sure we will see, because if it's free, like, of course there will be more people. And now, like, the test with that, and so the results that we want to see is that is it better for acquisition that just having like the upfront cost of $80? So does it of course at first it will we will have less people buying the club when they arrive. But does it convert more in the end? And do we see more paying users and more? And we see the ecosystem growing, which we think is super. Which we think is super good for the entire MFL community, because there's different initiatives that we're starting. So we're exploring like having paid ads. We're doing like as I said, like we did this test with the influencer, this French content creator that has very strong community, like to do some marketing around that. So and we think that having like this free trial club will help convert these users, and so can really grow the game. So there's different initiative, and we think that's something that can grow the number of clubs, grow the demand for players, etc., and grow the ecosystem. So that's really something that we are excited about, and think that could change and increase the number of clubs and the number of paying users in the end.
I think it's very exciting. One thing that just pops in my mind now is that what hypothetically, if so many people sign up that Flint gets filled with all these free trials, what's going to be the new name for a new division? No, I'm not going to ask you that. But you'd have to install a new division for capacity, right? But I guess that's probably something you could maybe predict in a few seasons' time.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be like depending on the results. It's not going to happen for season 9, so still a bit of time to think about it. It will also we will also see the results of this for season 9. It's not excluded. Like, I'm not excluding that it happens for season 9.
Because there's a possibility, right? The
Yeah, it's a
possibility,
possibility.
it's not zero. No, what is it? It's
Yeah,
like possibility is slim, but it's not zero. So that's a
yeah,
saying I like to
exactly.
have sometimes. Yeah.
And that's possible, but first I think it's unlikely, and also I think it's a good problem. It would be a good problem to have, like if you have like too many clubs, we will find a solution. And I think also that because it's free trial club, it's not really clubs that will be on the they will be on the pyramids, but they will be like, we know that even if we have like, let's say like I don't know exactly how many clubs we have in Flint at the moment, but I think we need 6,000 clubs to fill the Flint pyramid or something like that.
Yeah.
I think
it's just over 6,000. I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I think ice is 1,540 or something like that, and double that is just over 3,000.
Yeah,
Double that is just over. It's like 6,120 or something like that. I'm pretty sure is the capacity of Flint. Yeah.
yeah. So even if we fill it, we know that it's not like 6,000. Like, these 6,000 clubs will not all convert the season after. So that's still something that we can still imagine to have more clubs in this. More than the maximum hypothetical number of clubs in this division, and then that will not pose it, like there won't be any problem for promotion or relegation, because there will be enough space everywhere, because not all the clubs will become like clubs that upgrade, etc. So we still have a lot of possibilities here, and yeah, depending on we are still having in mind, and it's not something that we've redefined, and we still need to think about it, but still something that we want to do, like to have this probably continental leagues, or like subdivided, like by geographical region or something like that, and that we think could be a good idea, could be something very interesting, and so also having this kind of free trial, free club could also help us like to build, because you can bring a lot of, like, a huge number of new users to build these pyramids, and so that's also something that we can explore in the future. But we've been doing that for 3 years. Like, we always like to iterate step by step. Here our hypothesis, and what we really want to test is that what is the result if we remove this financial barrier at the entry, and put it a bit later when people have discovered the game. Does it improve the Does it increase the conversion rate? We have more users, etc. So that's really what we want to test. And then depending on the result of that, maybe it will not work at all, because maybe we will see that there are some new barriers that we need to handle, etc. And then based on the results, we will be able to take a new path and work on another topic that we want to improve, etc.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. I'm very much looking forward to season 9, knowing this, and I guess you're very excited to see what like 6 weeks, 7 weeks time will be like, and so like the results of the free trial. And you said there about potential other barriers to entry that might become more prevalent off the back of, say, this financial one being removed. And I want to particularly look at something on the bottom of the Medium post, which I know is something you've been MFL been working on about, which is the onboarding experience for users. And it says the penultimate, I think it's the penultimate, piece of text says, guided from day one, alongside trial clubs, we're rolling out a smoother creation flow and a checklist that rewards managers with MFL as they explore the basics, such as scouting, loans, transfers, and tactics. The aim is to take new managers by the hand in their first days so that when the fixtures arrive, they are already part of the rhythm. And just from someone who has experienced people onboarding, I think Dan Dacus, who was on the other week, was saying about his onboarding experience. I think having some sort of little rewards and gamifying the learning experience for users, even if it's not much, it's still something. It's enough to maybe put, I don't know what these values are, but it could be enough to put a young player in development center for a couple of seasons, and then they get to experience what that's like, rather than having to wait 6 weeks to experience a feature of MFL. Is that something, it says here, alongside Trial Cluster for season 9, that new onboarding experience will be integrated to MFL as well?
Yeah, definitely. That's also a very interesting point. So first, there is this new onboarding experience that we talked a bit, like with the club creation, that will be much easier, because we see also a lot of users when they arrive on their club. Then you need to create a logo. First, our logo generator is a bit hidden. If you're on mobile, it's super hard because you need to save this image, then to upload it, and so that's super hard on mobile. It's hard with our current logo generator to create something nice. So what we see is that, and people, what they do usually, they go on internet and they
find their favorite club or something like that, or their
an image,
favorite
and then
player,
they
and
download
pop it
it,
on
and
there.
then they upload it, and so that's a friction, because I've seen some stuff like that when I was doing the onboarding process with some friends. I like to test it and to see how they react, and so they were like that. Whoa, really? I need to find an image. Wow, I don't know what to put. And so that if you are not super motivated and so they did what I said, like they went on internet, but they did it because I was testing with them. I think a lot of users can also just stop the process. Now they are not, because you've spent already $80, you're committed to it, so you don't really stop the process. You do the effort and you create a logo. But now, because there won't be financial spending before the club creation, you need to have like something super smooth. So that's the first thing that we've done to make it very easy to create your club. And the second thing is, yes, this checklist that will, because the second issue that we noticed was that you arrive, you buy your club, and then you don't know what to do. It's really hard, and even before buying your club, you're not sure, should I buy the club, what should I do, etc. So it's pretty hard, and we try to add like this little pop-ups in the interface, where you have your
assistant manager,
your assistant manager, that try to guide you a bit and tell you some stuff, but it's not super. It's good because it gives you like some context about each window and which each part of the website. But it's not super easy to know what to do next. And so with this onboarding checklist, you will have like the first stuff will be create your club. So with the free trial club, so you will you know that you will have to do it. Then it will be buy a pack. The $10 pack that are reserved for you. You will have buy a pack and buy a player on the marketplace, sign one of your player in your club, sign another agent player in your club, and for every little action like that you do, you will have some little rewards like 50 MFL or like 100, or when it's like actions that are a bit more. For example, to buy the pack, it's a bit, you need to spend money, so it's a reward that is a bit
more
higher, etc. And so in the end, and if you do like the first steps, you will have the ability to get 600 MFL pretty quick. And so you should be able to get a pack on the store. So then you start to create like not the entire loop, but a first loop. Okay, I get MFL. With the MFL, I can buy a pack. Okay, and now I understand. I get the excitement of opening a pack.
Yeah.
And so that creates like and then you have like other steps, etc. So it's a pretty long onboarding list. We have a lot of stuff, but we think it's going to help a lot for the onboarding to understand the game, etc.
Yeah, I think that help a lot, especially with the seasons and their length, not having to wait 6 weeks until I can have my rewards. If they can just get a sense of if I can get one common reward pack, or just open a couple of packs or something along those lines, get that buzz, get that adrenaline of opening a pack. I know that, if I manage well enough, etc., and earn my MFL, come the end of the season, I'm going to be able to do, that on a 5 or 10x scale because of the earnings that I've got. So I think it's a really positive step you guys are making to, it seems cliche to say gamifying the onboarding, but rewarding the onboarding and rewarding managers who want to learn more. And, we've all been in games before where if you do the tutorial steps and you get some sort of reward for it, you're probably more inclined to do more of them because you want to chase that reward, even if that does mean, if I have to part with some money to buy a pack, I get some more MFL. Yeah, I'll do that because then I get to buy a pack. So I like that. So I look forward to seeing that onboarding as well, which I think has been very much needed. Whilst I've still got you, Matt, I don't want to go on for too much longer. I do want to ping a few topics towards your way, a few of which I think the community will be interested in hearing your takes on. The first one, probably the biggest one. We'll get the biggest one out of the way first. Let's call it economy and pack drops. Let's just title it that, economy and pack drops. I think since we last spoke, which is back in July, we've had probably about 3 or 4 pack drops since then. One of them didn't sell out instantly, which everyone was kind of like shocked, but not shocked about, I think, maybe. And then in the pre-season or the mid-season for season 8, you've reduced the pack quantities further than you did for like just a regular mid-season pack drop. I think maybe it'd be quite refreshing to hear your takes on how MFL, maybe as much as you can, views the economy or like where it's at or the whole pack situation, because I think that'd be really like refreshing for our communities to hear on your takes on all that at the moment.
Yeah, but for us, the idea is to continue operating as we've done over the last 3 years. I think we've seen, of course, the market. There is like a fluctuation in the price, etc. And so we've been always focused on managing this supply based on the demand and to find the right balance. And so we're always monitoring like different KPIs, the number of new users, the number of player per club, the number of active club, etc. So really focus on the numbers. So we are always doing that, and so when we have like an influx of new users, we need to adjust and to increase a bit the supply. We saw that that's what we saw in March and April and May. We got a super high influx of new users. So of course, in this case, it takes a bit of time for us to adjust the supply because we cannot just arrive and say, we have like this new amount of users, and so now we are going to do a pack that is 5x more than what it was before, and so that's not possible. I think the community would be like really scared, and that's not something that we can do and that we want to do because it can create too much impact on the prices. So we've had to release this supply to kind of regulate a bit more, and so to get to a point where the supply and the demand were more in the ratio that we usually have. And I think that's what we did with the price in June, July, August. Also, we did some drops like that, and then we saw that first it was harder to sell out. We saw the different KPIs, and so we had to reduce the supply. We were also expecting, to be 100% honest, we were expecting a bit more activity in September. We knew that July, August would be like months where the activity is a bit lower because it's the holidays. I think we also see an impact with some other games that pops out at this time. There was like another game, a new game that also pops out, and so that's also takes some money that user would spend on MFL, they spend it somewhere else, and so that's always the case. There is an arbitrage from the users, and so we knew that this period would be a bit small, a bit more calm. We were expecting September to go a bit faster and to have more growth, a bit more new users. I think how the schedule was, September was also a month where it was almost full competition, so there was not really like a new season. The new season will start really at the beginning of October, so there was no new season in September. So that's also due to that, and so yeah, that's why we decided to reduce the pack quantity. We are going to do the analyze for the next drop, and it's going to be probably maybe a bit higher than what we did before, and we need to check that, but still we will we have that in mind to stabilize a bit more the supply. But in the other thing is that we cannot just stop drops because first I think it's good to have like this flow of drops that are every 3 weeks. There's also new users that can get their hands on packs, etc. That's also revenue for us, and we need to keep generating revenue. We can talk about this question after that, but we are also doing some we are hiring at the moment to strengthen the team and to increase our capacity. So, but we always try to be in a position where we try to have a nice balance between this, and that's not an easy supply. And actually, to be honest, that's the friction point that we have with the community that I don't like, because it's the place where we have like the interest of the community and the interest of MFL as a company that are almost the opposite. Because of course
it's a contested scale, isn't it? Where the community wants what the community wants in terms of like an economy may not be beneficial for you guys as a company, and therefore you've got to find out the right balance that pleases both sides of the scale, sort of thing. Yeah,
exactly. There's the if you look at the community interest for like if you look at the short term stuff, like the ideal would be that there's no pack drop anymore, no more supply, an influx of new users, everything scales rockets, and then you have the value that increase for your assets. That if you look at the short term period, that would be that. For MFL, if you take a short term period, you can think, okay, we are dropping a lot of packs, and then we get a lot of money. But on our side, we are not thinking like that. We are thinking, what is the best for MFL as a product to continue to strive and to last for as long as possible, while generating revenue for us, because we need revenue to pay the developers, etc. To build a great game. We also want the prices to be stable and to so that it's the user, they don't get devaluated or etc. But of course, what is always complex is that when there is an increase in prices, the top is always considered as the new minimum for the community, and that's of course not possible in any economical cycle or any economical stuff. When you look at any company that is that has done an IPO or that is on the stock market, their price is moving, going up and down. So that will always be the case, and we are a product that is much smaller than companies that are in the stock, so there is more volatility. But yeah, that's what we have in mind, and we're always trying to balance that to find the best interest for the MFL game, and not only the community, only our interest as individuals, or generating revenue, but try like how the game can grow and can live as long as possible.
Yeah, no, I thank you for that. I appreciate you being a bit transparent and saying what you look at. And I think, you know, some people make a mountain out of a molehill when it comes to it, and but like you said, no one wants to see their assets being devalued as such. But from your fundamentally from a company's point of view, you need to earn revenue to sustain yourself. Do you guys ever look at, you said you've got all the metrics there, the KPIs, etc. When it comes to quantities and supply, etc. Is sort of the secondary marketplace, we'll call it secondary marketplace, is that something you incorporate into some of that decision making?
Yeah, of course.
Or
Yeah, of course.
yeah, so that's a component of it. And I mean, we have the
We
reward.
basically, sorry, I interrupt, but we look at the marketplace prices. So usually, and what I like to do also to compare the prices, because it's important. If you look at the total number of players, I think you're going always to see, like, especially with the stage of the player user base that we have, because they're aging. You will always see like the price are decreasing, because of course, like, before there were no, like, there was only players. If you look at season one, there was only players that were between 16 and of course
28.
there was, yeah, 28. There was some, but it was very, very low
Yeah, but
percentage of
the
the
average
people.
would have been way towards like 24, because those
Yeah,
initial packs were 16 to 22,
yeah,
16 24, 16 26, and then 16 to 28 was only the last handful of pack drops. And even so, those who were aged 27, 28 were still a slim percentage of those players or supply at that time.
yeah. So exactly. And so if you look at the average age of the player base has shifted, and so it has increased. And of course, like, the closer to the retirement period, the cheaper the player. So when we analyze this, we like to have to analyze players that are, for example, between 20 and 25. And so that gives you a clearer picture of of what's really happening. So that's the first thing. And of course, yeah, we saw that over the last few months, there was a decrease in the prices, and that we needed to adjust the supply.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking about this one, I'm going to put you on the spot here, and feel free to say that you don't have an answer for it. Speak about retirement of players. One that commonly gets discussed and suggested is around potential utility for retired players. I'm saying it off the back of the most recent podcast where, Ryan and I were discussing, potential use cases for retired players. Is that something that you sort of ever think about? I know something that you've said it'd be like a nice to have, but not really a priority. Or is that sort of the same standpoint you have on that at the moment?
Yeah, for the moment, that's still how I see it. I think it's first, it's a complex mechanism to find. I mean, to really create something that is that adds gameplay, that has a bit of depth to the game. You need to really have a strong focus on it to make it like a feature that is interesting. Because if you just do it like from nice to have, that has just like almost no utility or something like that, I'm not sure that's really worth it. So first, I would need a lot of resource to just find about of the mechanism. Then you need to develop it. It can have an impact on the economy. So I think for like the complexity of the feature, I think there's a lot of features that we would prefer to do. I'm thinking about probably like injuries. I'm thinking about like continental leagues. I'm thinking about I really like this feature, and we've thought about it but not released it. But and it's not done yet, but to have academic centers or academies, like
Yeah.
players academy, youth academies.
Youth development. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that could be also something super nice, and I think that it has more potential um, to be more fun, to appeal to people, etc. So that's more stuff that we think are more interesting, and um, and I understand that the user, like the community, they also want to find ways to keep the value of their player up to a point. But I think it's normal, but I want to be clear. It's also important for the sustainability of the game, for the long term, for the longevity of the game.
Yeah.
That at some points the player don't have any more utility in the game. Otherwise, if it doesn't work a long time.
Yeah, it doesn't work. If everyone can just have their player forever and they have
Yeah.
utility, then there's no incentive to say go and buy other players on the marketplace or go buy packs, which is your main revenue stream. You spoke about growth earlier, and I highlighted in a pod a few weeks ago about seeing some hirings for MFL on LinkedIn, because I am that sad person who fortunately doesn't use LinkedIn the way that people expect people to. I just use it just to scroll once a day maybe and have a look on there. I saw a couple of hirings on there for game product manager and head of marketing. Is that, do you mind speaking on that a little bit and sort of potential growth there for yourself as a company?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, 2025 was really good month, good year for MFL. We saw like a very strong growth, both at the beginning of the year, end of 2024, when we really released the real version of the game, and also in April, March, May, something like that. It was also like we saw a very good growth. Which is very nice because it's really shows that when you launch the full game, when you like people like it and they want to try it and they want to join it, etc. So that's a very good very good positive sign. And now what we want to do is really to scale a bit more the company in terms of number of people. We've been operating for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years with less than 6 people.
Yeah.
I think we made some recruitment in 2025. Actually, we recruited one developer, Guillaume, and Aviv, that joined us. And we still want to continue to scale the number of people. We want to stay agile, not to grow too fast, and so that's why we're opening two positions. We already have a front-end developer that joined us as a freelancer position a few weeks ago that we haven't announced yet. He's a guy that's been working in Solar Data. So pretty cool hiring. We're super happy about it. And so yeah, we are opening these two positions. The head of marketing is really like we are hiring like a this position to really like scale the entire marketing and create the entire marketing from scratch, like the marketing engine, the marketing department from scratch. It's I think it's really somewhere like that's a very like critical role, and that's also something where myself or Jan or like the current team has the less knowledge.
Yeah.
I think we've been I think we are really good at product, we're really good at tech, and we've been good at marketing because we've managed to grow the product, to scale the product, to attract new users. But I think that's still something where we can be better. If I look at the tech and the product, I think we are not as good in the marketing side as we are as in the product and in the tech, and that's where I want us to step up. And so hiring someone to join us to come on this position and to help us doing that is needed. And we also have like this topic of like growing the user base. We want to do a bit more investment in ads, in content creators, etc. So to have somebody to really orchestrate everything, to lead the marketing strategies, so that's really a key role. And the other thing is in the product. At the moment, the product is mostly handled by me, and we start to see some limitation because, of course, I'm not only on the product. I'm managing basically all the other
All the other
aspects.
stuff, yeah. An octopus with
Yes,
many hands and
yeah,
many fingers and many pies is a saying that we have.
yeah, exactly. So at some point, we see that it start to have some limitations, and sometimes also blocking the teams because I'm not able to deliver as I would like. For example, like to create some mockups, create full specification, and so that creates sometimes some. Like we want to launch an initiative, and so it's more like I lead it a bit, but then the developers they need to guess a bit what I have in mind, or I'm trying to share them, but it's not super clear. So that's why we want to hire someone at the product to really like work with me in collaboration with me to define the features, to create nice mockups that can be then developed by the dev team, etc., and to put more energy and more focus on that. So that's the idea. And we've also, but I won't tell more about it. It will be just the teaser. But we've also recruited somebody that we will announce, and that will join us pretty soon, and is a community member. So
Ooh,
super excited to announce that, and super excited to have him in the team.
very exciting. That all sounds very promising, and I think you often get people come in and say, "Oh, what does the finances or what does the future of MFL look like?" And sometimes looking at things like recruitment as a way of understanding like what your goals and objectives are and how committed you are to MFL. But also, people I think underestimate how small the team is for the output that you guys deliver, because people look
No,
at the game and what you produce and your outputs and think, oh, it must be a team of like 15, 20 plus. But no, like you said, it's been six of you for a long while. If before even hirings of last year, it was smaller than that, leading up to season one. So it's very exciting to see that you're recruiting for some extra roles, to have dedicated individuals whose expertise are sat in that particular category and specialism. So to let other people like yourself, Jan, etc., rather than you all having to stick your fingers in different pies, you can focus on your pie and let other people do their bit, and try and relieve some of those potential barriers there, which is really exciting. Um,
yeah, and actually, it's fun that you're saying that you're saying that because for the different role that we have open, I interviewed a lot of different candidates, etc. And for example, I interviewed from some companies that are pretty close to ourselves, that know our industry, etc. And when I did the interview, a lot of time when people ask us how many people we are, I like to ask them how many do you think we are, and the answer is always like close to I thought you were like 20, 25, 30 people, etc., which is far from the reality. So it's always like it's always interesting, and something that we like and that we want to keep, like to have like really a small team, a lean team, because it's as soon as we also start to grow, it means that we need a recurring revenue that is much higher, etc. And so that's why I like to and we are fully bootstrapped, we haven't raised any fund, etc. So that's, we cannot be like a VC company or something like that that can hire a lot and then
yeah,
spend a lot of time, like a lot of money on building the product like that. On our side, like when we hire someone, it's because we've generated revenue enough to sustain a recruitment for a long time, etc. So and so yeah, and always I see like on Discord, in the community, people that want to us to do more hiring, or like sometimes want to tell us how to run the company. But yeah, it's not that it's not that easy. That we have like constraints, and also I want to be also clear with that. And it's we are doing a company, and the aim is we want to have fun. We want to create an amazing product. We want to offer an experience that is amazing for our community. We want to, like, we are super proud of what we're creating as a product and as a community. But we also want to generate profit,
yep,
and that's the aim of a company. And I would be lying if I were just saying that what we want is only creating the most beautiful game, etc. We want that, but on top of that, we expect also to generate revenue and to be able to have a nice salary for the team, for myself, etc. For the founders, etc. So that's how it works, and that's how company works. So I want to be like I'm super transparent, but I like to say that because it's the truth, and I don't want people to just think that we are like here for like to work for pro bono or something like that. We love what we do. We want to do an amazing game with an amazing community, but we also want to get rewarded for that in the end.
Yeah, I think I can speak on behalf of the community where we appreciate the transparency a lot when it comes to things like this or the dev updates or any sort of communication that when it comes out. So thank you, and keep doing the great work that you and the team and the future team will do. Before we wrap things up, and I'm going to announce another hashtag. We don't usually do it for these little ones, but I'm going to announce hashtag anyway. Matt, do you have any final bits that you would like to discuss, or any? You've already dropped a few things about like some things in the future you'd like to do, etc. But any final bits and pieces before we wrap things up?
No, just we're going to announce it also like next Tuesday, but stay tuned because we are going to have a nice and fun community event that we are going to launch.
There we go.
Next week, so it's going to be a fun event. I cannot tell a lot about it at the moment, but we will synchronize it with the free trial club because we think it's a nice momentum to have that, and we've seen it's been requested a lot on the Discord. Yeah. It's also a long time that we haven't done this. I think we've been busy with a lot of stuff. Like sometimes we forget everything that has been done, but we regenerated our entire player base. Yeah. We organized an event in Parc des Princes with our community. So yeah, we've done a lot of stuff, and I think we probably that's something that we want to try to do a bit more, like have this kind of fun events that we were doing a lot before, especially when the game was not in running phase. But as soon as you get in the running phase, like you get like you have a cadence, like some timelines to match, etc. And so that becomes a bit harder. But that's not an excuse, and that's something that we want to do a bit more and try to have this kind of fun event on the side. That's definitely something that we're going to try to do a bit more regularly. Doesn't mean that it's going to be every season or something like that, but at least we have that in mind, and we think it's pretty cool. So we are going to organize it for the beginning of season 9.
That's very exciting. That's very exciting. I want to sort of ask a bit more information about it, but you've already dropped enough information saying there's going to be something. And hopefully, folks, you've listened this far at the episode to be in the know about what's going to be announced next week. The hashtag for this episode, you get a choice: hashtag croissant or hashtag baguette. Which are you more of a fan of, croissant or baguette?
And for the French people that are listening, it's hashtag croissant. Because otherwise, I understood cross on at the beginning. So sorry.
Go. I'll allow. I picked you up on demotion and all that. I'll allow my poor French pronunciation to get the better of me for that one. So hashtag baguette or hashtag croissant. Bit better. Before we wrap things up, Matt, really appreciate you coming on, spending over an hour with us today. Thank you.
No, thanks to you. Always a pleasure to be here, and super excited for this trial club, and can't wait to see the results.
Awesome. We look forward to seeing the results as well, and we're excited for you as much as we are excited ourselves. Right, folks, you know the hashtag, you know the drill. Thank you all so very much for listening, and we'll catch you this time next week for an episode of the Unveiled Cast. Thank you for listening.